guys, this is Shoeback. Now today I'm going to be telling you a Hello Neighbor theory. Now, sorry if you hear the TV in the background. You will not be hearing talking in the background, but you're just going to be hearing the TV. So there might be talking on the TV, of course. Now, let's just jump straight into the theory, and I'm going to be pulling up a picture in a second. Well, I'm telling the theory because it's a big part of the picture of the theory. So here it goes. That's the picture right there. Now, you guys might not understand this one part until you watch Alpha 3 or play Alpha 3. But spoilers also. This might be the real theory. So here it goes. At the end of Alpha 3, if you get the ending and you try to walk into the basement, instead you get this very light area of the neighbor crying and a weird little barcode. On the side, if you turn to the right and you look into the keyhole, there is a barcode. And then, on I think the left door, there is a shadow or something of a kid or something like that. Now, let me explain that right there. The guy to the left is a big part of the story, so you better know what that painting is about. So I think that the neighbor, since he was like that age, which I think that this was like in the 80s, because look at his hair. I mean, really, that's like a mullet or something. So I don't know what time. I forget. I think that was like the 80s or the 90s. That was. So anyway, I think that the neighbor got this idea since he was a kid. I think he was like, oh, we're gonna do all, let's just say, kidnap all these people, and then we're gonna put them in these cages, because that's why all those like cages are in the house. You know how there's like those little cages that block off, and then you have to open them. Yeah, I think that that's where they're gonna put all like the children or the people, while they're like, hey, you get to stay in there. So I think that the dad agreed with this idea, and the dad was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. So then later on, maybe even a couple of months later, or maybe even a year later, I think that the dad was like, no, this isn't right. So then the dad punished the guy to the right, which is the neighbor, and he was like, so this is just a terrible idea. Why did you even come up with this? Then the neighbor's like, you kind of followed along. But then the dad, I think, is to the left, by the way. He was like, okay, well, why don't you just get this? And I think that he, like, let's just say, I don't know, yelled at him or maybe even beat him, because it's pretty bad what he did. He locked children in these cages. So then I think that the neighbor was crying in his like bedroom, let's just say, while the dad was like, haha. But I think that the dad was that big shadow that you saw. I mean, this guy to the left, he looks pretty weird. I mean, look at his nose. Weird nose, pretty weird chin. I mean, he doesn't look like a normal person. Looks like that big shadow, but we also don't get a full picture of this guy. I mean, I don't know, we might not have to put or something like that, because this was still like 20 years ago, this painting, of course. So he still has different hair. So I think that guy right there is Shadow. So then, after one of the kids that the neighbor locked up in the cage, I think that one of the kids escaped, and then the kid that escaped, I think, turns out to be the neighbor, this guy, neighbor, the person that you play as. I think that you're one of the kids. And I think that he is trying to figure out, well, I wonder if the neighbor is still doing what he always used to do with, like, me and all my other buddies or other kids or whatever. So then he just tries to sneak inside the neighbor's house to try to figure out all of his stuff. But then the neighbor's like, yeah, you're not coming in my house. Because the neighbor, I don't think, does it anymore, because I think that he realized also because how the dad taught him a lesson. But I also think that I also think that the neighbor is still hiding something. I think that his house, I don't think that he's doing something bad. I think that his house is haunted. And that's why you keep on getting like those paper airplanes thrown across the room by himself. And then mannequins and stuff, all these weird noises. This shopping cart, by the way. I think that it happened, like I think that they were talking, like this is how I think that the dad thought it was a bad idea. Because I think that the neighbor was getting way off track and was just getting weird. And they were in a shopping mart or whatever, or just a mart, like a place to go to shop. Anyway, so, and I think that this is where it all happened, and I think that the dad was like, okay, you're going way over a line. No, I'm not doing this anymore. And I think that it happened at a grocery store, by the way. So then, he still has, like, let's just say, I think that he still has a shopping cart, and I think that he kind of stole the, the cash register, because it's a lot of money. I think that he stole that along with the shopping cart, and he has that now inside his house, just for the memory of how that happened. But I think he just looks back at it just to maybe, I don't know. I think that that is just a room where he keeps all the things that he hates, and that's one of the things that he hates. So, that basically wraps up my theory, which is basically what I just said, is I think that he used to work with his dad, and I think that the dad was just like, no, this is wrong. So then the dad was like, no, this is terrible. So then the neighbor got upset, and then one of the kids escaped from the cages that the neighbor put in, and one of the kids is now the neighbor's neighbor. So then that kid is trying to find out if he's still doing it, but the neighbor isn't, but it's still haunted, and that's why all these weird things are going on. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this shoot back video, and goodbye. Like and subscribe to the Shoot Sister, by the way. Goodbye. This is Shoot Back.